What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's time for the weekly rotation. We are back. Normally it comes out on Sundays, but I was traveling Sunday, so we're putting it out here on Monday morning. We've got a lot of blue, a lot of fresh, and some new. We got some new stuff here that I may have some interesting thoughts on if you haven't heard my thoughts on it already, but definitely a bunch of mass appealing stuff that got me a decent amount of compliments because I was out of town. I was mingling and going a lot of places and seeing a lot of people, so the opportunities were definitely there, and a couple fragrances definitely delivered a few times for sure. So it's week number 297 in the weekly rotation. Let's dive into it. Stay tuned. Starting off on Sunday, I wore it during the day. I wore it again out the shower. The brand new Nautica Voyage Intense. This is some good stuff. It's a deeper, more intense, named appropriately, take. On the original, you still get that crisp apple, fresh floral aquatic. It doesn't have as much clean musk as the original, but you get a little bit more woods, a little hint of leather. It's as far, far deep in the dry down, you get a little hint of leather. But it does have a little bit of smokiness to it, a little bit. But a nice hit of wood, strong like cedar wood hit that really gives it some depth and character, a little hint of spice. Like, it's definitely a more intensive smell of the original. I keep getting people asking me about this cucumber smell. I've been hearing that for years, and what the fuck are y'all talking about? It's not Polo Blue. Nautica Voyage ain't Polo Blue. I don't know what are y'all mistaking the green apple and the watery flower, like, because it's lotus flower that makes it aquatic. Is that like smell like cucumber to you guys? Because it smells like water and green apple to me. Because it's not a sweet green apple, it's the crispness, like biting into the green apple. I've never understood people saying the cucumber smell. I've never gotten that, because if you smell Polo Blue, which is dominant cucumber, or Paris Hilton for Men, dominant cucumber, then you smell this. I don't know how in the fuck y'all could say this is cucumber when you smell two fragrances that are clear as day, like almost photorealistic cucumber smell. It's so good. Like accurate, I guess is the better word, that you smell, the original version of this and you're like, oh, cucumber. I never understood that. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe it's insulting some of you. Put your big boy pants on if it is. I don't know what to tell you. This is my genuine opinion. I've never understood that. So, no, it does not smell like cucumber, like the original that I also don't think smells like cucumber. It smells like a more woodsy, intense, darker, slightly darker version of the original. It does hold true to the DNA. A little bit stronger, like 6-7 hour fragrance. Nothing crazy in performance still, but it's a little deeper. It's a little bit richer. It performs a little bit better, just a little bit better. But I never had any performance issues, really. I always got decent average performance out of the original. So it's up to you if you want to spend, I think it's $36 on Amazon. It'll be linked down below. It's up to you if you want to spend it. I need to ship Chad Secrets his bottle. Bought him a bottle so I can ship it to him in Canada. I'm literally doing that today. Oh, no, tomorrow. I'll be able to do that tomorrow because they can't get it in Canada. Chad's the one that put me on game. He had put a video out that it was a random drop on Amazon, and I bought it that day. And nobody was hooking my boy up. So I was like, shit, anybody, you got a way of getting it? He said, no, I'm having hell. People are saying, oh, I'll take care of you. He's like, but nobody's messaging me. I said, well, I'm messaging you. I'm going to hook you up. So send it his way. So the Chad Secrets review on Nautica Voyage Intense is coming at some point. I don't know how long it's going to take for him to get to Canada, but eventually it'll happen. I got a bottle for him literally in the other room. It came in while I was in Louisiana. But if you like Nautica Voyage, you're going to like the Intense. It's that simple. During the day and out the shower, the new Nautica Voyage Intense. Moving into Monday, a hell of a 1-2 punch, if I do say so myself. I mean, let's call it the best smelling day of the week. What the hell? There's no Coconut Lagoon in this week. Purposely didn't use that. So the so-called king, that I don't think it's the king, but I do love the profile. I mean, I got so many fragrances that smell like Creed Aventus, it's unbelievable. Twist, manipulations, direct clones, inspired fragrances, kind of like. I got so many that smell like this. This is my 19S11 batch. This is more like bergamot and pineapple. Light smoke, a lot of musk, a little hint of rose. That's what I've always gotten the most of. Out of this one, I really get an apple. It's not a super smoky batch. It's more of a citrus fruit kind of dominant fragrance. Smells great. Quality's fantastic. You get slightly above average longevity, really good projection early on, decent sillage. Compared to the old Grail Monster performing batches, you would consider it weak, but it's actually like a 6 to 8 hour range, really, 7 hours ish longevity fragrance. Really pumps off the skin for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Pretty good sillage. Like, it's a pretty good performer. It's not a beast. Pretty good performer though. And once in a blue moon, I'll reach for it. We did the nostalgia video. This was my first niche fragrance ever. Was, go figure, Creed Aventus. Had won in a raffle years ago, so we did that. I did that nostalgia fragrance tag the other day. So this was the last one of the bunch. So I figured, what the hell, let's wear it. I haven't wore it in a while, so you can never go wrong. When in doubt, if you got Creed Aventus, get Creed Aventus. If you want to ask me what's the closest dupe, here's advice: get a sample. The little carded samples. These are what Creed carded samples look like. Creed carded samples. Get you one. Spend a couple of bucks. Go to department store. Dillard's. Dillard's carries Creed. Go to Dillard's. Go to Macy's. Go wherever. Buy you a little carded sample. You don't even have to do it online. Smell it. Use the whole thing. Understand how it actually smells. And then, because there's no right or wrong answer. People are going to tell you Parfum's vintage. Good for them. I don't fuck with that brand. Some people will tell you Club de Nuit Intense Man is identical. Couldn't disagree more. But I love Club de Nuit Intense Man. It's more of a twist because it's so lemon heavy and crazy cheap synthetic up close. But out in the air, smoky magic. So much more smokiness than this. And lemon. Smoky, lemon, musky, fruity. It's amazing, but it's not direct like, oh my God, this replaces it perfectly. That's more of a twist, There's so many out there that get close, that are almost, that people swear are the same. And then there's some that are designer-inspired twists. Your Mont Blanc Explorers that are kind of, but not quite. Then you have your Ocon Supremacy Silvers that really try to be. Then your Supremacy, not only Intenses that kind of have elements of it, but also have elements of Hachivat, but it's kind of its own thing. It's an oak moss bomb. Like, see what I'm saying? There's no right answer to what's the closest to this. And people get mad when I give them my real thoughts. Because this is my real thoughts. There is no right answer. There's so many out there that you got to just take the plunge and be willing to spend your money if you can't sample or buy decants of certain things. You got to be willing to roll that dice with your wallet to go exploring. Because let's just use me for an example. My opinion, my thoughts, my experience on a fragrance may not relate to what you actually get when you get it. Or it might be exactly the way I feel. And you're like, oh, I get that. I like this guy. Subscribe. Or you get it and you're like, oh, he don't know what he's talking about. 30 minutes and it's gone. It don't smell nothing like this. I'm never watching him again. There's two sides to every coin, right? So when it comes to Creed Aventus, that's my real advice, is get an actual carded sample. Understand the actual fragrance before you go out in the world exploring the 10,000 options that are like it, kind of like it, almost like it, exactly like it, inspired by it, twist versions of it that offer almost the same but has this extra nuance. It's complicated. Nobody wants the real answer, right? But it is complicated. There is no right answer. And people in the comments be, oh, bro, it is simpler than that. L'Aventure, and just they're going to start listing them. And then some of you are going to be like, oh, really? And you're going to buy it. And you're going to be like, it ain't exactly that. And then you're going to read the comments on somebody else. And they're going to say, oh, I'm telling you, bro, just go with this one. And then you're going to buy that one too. See where this is going to begin to be a thing? And you clone yourself to death, as I like to call it. This DNA is the main culprit for how you clone your collection to death. So be wise. Noodle. Use your noodle when it comes to Creed Aventus during the day. I hope y'all had fun with that. I did. Again, if it triggers some, big boy pants. Out the shower. All-time great. This was also in the nostalgia video, Tommy by Tommy Hilfiger. Technically my favorite fragrance ever. This was the first fragrance I ever asked for as a kid. It was, I believe, 5th grade. Got a gift set with the duffel bag from Dillard's. Christmas. Love it. I've had more bottles of this than any other fragrance. This is my newest 50 ml. I finished the 30 ml like 2 years ago or something like that. And yeah, bitter, citrusy green, a little fresh, spicy, woodsy. It's nothing crazy. It does smell like it belongs with a polo shirt. That's for sure. I just love that smell. That's the smell of the 90s in my childhood right there. It just is. And man, terrible performer. 2 to 3 hours in longevity if you're lucky. It's not going to last. but it's super nostalgic. It's super cheap. It's around 20 bucks for 100 ml, and it's such a good fragrance. If you don't mind refreshing and keeping something with you, 3 hours is still 3 hours. That's what I get. You might get 6. I don't know. You might get 1. Who knows? But for me, it's Mount Rushmore. This goes on Mount Rushmore every time, forever and ever for me when it comes to the 4 main fragrances in my life. Out the Shower, Tommy by Tommy Hilfiger. Moving into Tuesday, if you thought I might have offended and upset some people with Creed Aventus, get ready for Bleu de Chanel l'exclusif, because that has been quite the entertaining couple of shorts and full-length video, because I literally got criticized with an essay by it's clearly old school, like them snobs that wish it was Steve. You know how in the past I've used the description of y'all remember like Steven's super early videos. Shout out Steven, Redolescence, when it was like square resolution, low res, way before HD, 15, 16 years ago. Had a little TV tray with his fragrances sitting in a chair in the middle of a room, talking fragrances. They wanted to be that. Dude literally told me 09 to 2015 was the peak and everything, and he's a big Robes 08 disciple. Mark, you still got a fan out there in that guy, that's for sure. You know, we're TikTok guys like me. Like, this dude ain't got a fucking clue what he's talking about. If you class me with the TikTok guys, you're a fucking moron, first and foremost. I make fun of the TikTok guys. You're an idiot. But the reason he's criticizing me all this stuff is because I will rave about a mid-level designer, but I dare say things about this for $300. And it's like, okay, I know my audience. I know how I value a dollar, and talking about that for $275 retail for 100 ml and putting an evaluation on it price-wise, because it is an incredible fragrance. We're going to get into that in a second. I do think it's incredible. But $275 is extremely expensive for a designer blue flanker. It is. It's not their private line where it's like, all right, $300-ish. I get that. It's the private line stuff. This is based around Isui Super and cashmere wood, these synthetic soft aroma molecule wood accords. Okay, it's not like there's loaded, 80% of the fragrance is natural oils and like, miss me with your fucking snot-nosed, snobby prick, pompous bullshit. 09 to 2015 fragrance guy. Miss me with that shit. Maybe you should keep watching Robes, because I ain't for you. Go watch Mark. Me and Mark are totally different. You should watch Mark. With this fragrance, I put the value on it the way I put the value on it. I have the Parfum. There's a strong similarity to the Parfum. It's like, I don't necessarily need this. Maybe one day I'll get a 60 ml, but I don't feel like I need it right now. Whereas I talk about a fragrance that within a month of it coming out, it'll be under $80 from discounters. And it speaks to a lot of my audience more. It speaks to what I like a lot more, and the value, because let's be real, I have a ridiculous amount of fragrances, and 95% of them throughout the year spend 350 plus days a year sitting on my shelf, because I get new stuff all the time, and I'm always trying and testing new stuff, and I intentionally try to reach back for certain things randomly throughout the year. So if I buy this, just the 60 ml for $235, I think is what it was, that's all I would buy, because that's all I would need, because I'd never go through it. I bought the Parfum in 2018, 100 ml. It's got a dent that big in the bottle. And I love that fragrance. I think it's the best designer blue ever. And I think this rivals it. Again, bear through the rant, right? Because I've been getting a lot of shit for my opinion on because of the value on this. And I'm sure everybody else that's talked about the price side of it and it not being valued at that to them has been dealing with something similar, I'm sure. But I just don't see the value. Whereas if I can spend, let's say $70-80 on a designer, and it actually speaks to my taste, I really enjoy it. Let's say the wife likes it, and it's like, for something to sit on the shelf where I spent $70 makes more sense for me, even as someone who does this full time. It makes more sense for me value-wise versus I'm able to give my thoughts with this carded sample that Miss Heather sent me. Shout outs to the GOAT, Miss Heather. Dillard's in Jacksonville, Florida. If you're ever in the area, go see Miss Heather. She is awesome. You will have a great time with her. She sent me the sample, so I'm able to experience it, spend a little time with it, knock through half of it already, that quick, share my thoughts with you guys, and decide, do I want to buy a bottle? So, what do I get from it? It opens up. It's a much smokier, spicier, version of Bleu de Chanel. It is really good. It's a deeper, richer take on the Parfum. It does perform a lot better than the Parfum. That's going to be a big win for a lot of people. People complained about the Parfum being too intimate. I like it because it's a less is more, very professional scent. Like if you want to wear a blue fragrance with a suit and tie, I think there's none better than Bleu de Chanel Parfum. Still, with this on the market, Bleu de Chanel Parfum in a suit and tie, none better for a blue. I just really agree with that. You lose some of the citrus. It's a little bit more resinous. As it dries, I get more of the Parfum. I had people tell me they get the Parfum early and then it changes, whereas the opposite for me, as it gets into the heart, is the biggest difference because it's at its smokiest and spiciest point in the mid-range of the life of the fragrance, and then as it gets in the deeper dry down, I find it basically turns into that warm wood smell of the Parfum. So it's like I'm not in a hurry to get this fragrance. And the only way you're going to get them is the Macy's sales for 15% off, which they just ran. I don't know if it's still going. Sephora, if you can get lucky and get their 15% off, sometimes they'll apply it to Chanel, sometimes they won't, because Chanel doesn't go to discounters. Or, as was brought to my attention recently, if you go on a cruise, you can usually get them 15 to 30% off. So buy you a cruise ticket and go do some Chanel shopping. Or if you happen to be going on a cruise already, you might be able to get Bleu de Chanel exclusif at a discount on a cruise. I was joking. That offended some people the other day too. It was a good laughable joke. People on the internet, my God. But I think this fragrance is actually fantastic. I just don't see it being worth the money to me at this current moment. I don't have to have it. I was able to do my job. I was able to smell it, spend time with it, experience it, and share my thoughts, and have people agree with me, people thank me for my honesty, and have people then ridicule and belittle me for my opinion, all at the same time. So literally everything was accomplished with a sample. I got all the good and all the bad that comes with this with a sample. Sometimes the sample makes sense, and in this instance, it 100% made sense because I was calling for a flanker like this. That's why a lot of people was like, I can't believe you didn't have it first. Well, if they'd have priced it at $185, I might have. They priced it at $275. Fuck you, Chanel. I'm sampling it first. You know? As I encourage everyone that's going to buy a niche fragrance. Is this a niche fragrance? No, but they sure priced it at it. Now you see where my evaluation comes from. So, guys, be wise. Don't let anyone pressure you into it. Don't let opinions both on camera and written fool you into getting it. Go to the store and try it for yourself. Spend the day with it on skin before you make your decision, because for a designer fragrance, Bleu de Chanel exclusif is an investment. It's an investment. I thought that was interesting. I had people come at me, oh, it's not, if you ain't got it, like, dude, I could buy 10 of these bottles right now. It ain't because I can't swing it. I could buy 10 of these and I'd be okay and it wouldn't hurt anything and my bills would be paid. It's no big deal. That's not the issue. Value is what one places on a fragrance. I put this less value on this than what they're charging for it. So maybe later I get a 60 mil, maybe I don't. Thank you for the rant. It's going to make this video really long. But during the day, and out the shower, and I had a little bit for the gym that morning. I spent the whole day with it throughout, and I really didn't need to refresh. The one in the hand was plenty from the morning, but Bleu de Chanel exclusif, I think, is a banger. I think it's an overpriced banger, and I don't need it by having the Parfum. I don't have the EDP and the EDT because I just felt like I needed one. Let me get my favorite one. And that holds true. My favorite one's still the Parfum. I do think in many instances this is better, but I just don't see spending the money because I'm so happy with the Parfum. So there you go. Bleu de Chanel exclusif. During the day, out the shower, a little bit of test spray on the hand at the gym, and a big old explanation on the bullshit the internet provided to me for this. Boy, was it a fun week. Moving into Wednesday, this was one hell of a day. A very citrusy type of day. We've got a Wondrous Flight from Bisous. This is beautiful. This is slightly more citrusy than it is fruity, like Vibrato from Suspiro. This is gorgeous. A little musky in the dry down. Nice woodsy hit. It's warm, but still bright, fresh citrus. A little green spice, plus a hit of ginger on top of that. This is like really good. This is more Vibrato than it is Tigar. This is some good stuff. I enjoy the hell out of wearing this fragrance. This stuff is absolutely beautiful. I had such a long segment before. I'm going to try to get through this a little bit quicker because I notice we're at 20 minutes of raw footage right now. And then when it was time to get out the shower, I went shave beforehand, and I grabbed a litany of Citrine products. Zaharoff Signature Citrine. We've got the grooming balm, my favorite Zaharoff product. I love this stuff. This is so good on your skin as an aftershave lotion, as a regular nourishing skin lotion. Just brings the green out of the fragrance. I have the shave set. This is the splash. Soaps in the bathroom. And then, of course, I always give myself some sprays of the fragrance. Zaharoff Signature Citrine, sweet orange, clementine, incense. Main things I get from this. Zaharoff's Current, Maine Freshie. Good stuff. Really, really good stuff. Strong argument for this being the best smelling day of the week. But out the shower, Signature Citrine. Moving into Thursday was travel day to Louisiana. It was fantasy football draft, auction draft time. We do that live. Did it at my cousin's bar. So on Thursday for travel, speaking of Tigar, I went with Kajal III during the day and nothing out the shower. This is basically that spicy grapefruit smell plus lemonade. They have a lemonade accord. Spicy grapefruit and woods with lemonade. And of course, some ambroxan to really help it pump and push. Quality's great. Performance is great. It is just great. I don't need Tigar because of this. This is so much better than the Tarathi Blues of the world, which for the money, for the $30 range, that's a great fragrance. For the $100+ range, this is even better. Oh man, God, because the quality is just better. Even with the synthetics, it's higher grade synthetics. There's naturals and synthetics, high grade synthetics here. This is a beautiful fragrance. This is super easy to like. Super easy. Definitely got can't get compliments out for some reason. 3 compliments when I got into town because it was still pumping off the skin. Went visit some family. We went out to dinner that night. Didn't even refresh. Didn't have to because I got in at like 6 o'clock. So we basically I pulled everything out the SUV, and then we went eat. And I got 3 compliments, plus my mom actually. So 4 technically counting my mom. So yep. During the day and into that evening with the original sprays, Kajal III. Moving into Friday, I actually had a long day, bouncing around, going to the gym. Different things like that. I didn't really spray my scent of the day until I just waited because my grandmother wanted to go to dinner to one of her favorite places because she was, relatively sick, and she picked a place. A bunch of us were in town. My uncle and my godson were in town because they're in the league with me as well. So she wanted to go to Polites in Thibodaux. For any of you familiar with South Louisiana, she wanted to go to Polites. So got my shower in, changed and everything, and went with Light Breeze because it's hot out there in South Louisiana. House of Dastan Light Breeze, which is basically Percival mixed with Imagination, Percival mixed with Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue, Percival mixed with name your favorite light blue fragrance, and it's basically here. Because you get the citrusy, fresh, aquatic, clean, musky, woody, spicy smell. It's so good. It's so good. It's high-grade synthetics again, pops off the skin. It is simplistic. It is not overly complicated. It is straightforward, and it's a freaking compliment magnet. 6 compliments. 6 compliments at Polites. 6, not just at the dinner table. The 2 of the ladies at the front when we walked in, a random passerby that was leaving with their food to go. Our waitress it was one after another because I had just sprayed it like 30, 40 minutes before. So it was still pumping off the skin. I did spray a little heavier than I typically do. I did spray 7, which I normally would do 4 to 5 with this. But I knew we were going out, so I added 2 extra ones on the forearms, 5 around the neck. I kept count 6. So 6 that evening. It was popping. It works. Anything that smells of Fierce and Percival's DNA, Mobile Legend, this has a pretty good twist on it as well. Just works. Just works. That evening, what a beautiful world, right? House of Dastan, Light Breeze. Finally on Saturday, nothing out the shower, nothing out the gym. This is quickly becoming one of my favorite blue fragrances. I had somebody ask me this morning that people say it smells like Sauvage. What's your take? No. This is a spicy, bitter saltwater aquatic in the opening, and it dries into a very smoky, earthy saltwater aquatic. Does any of that sound like Sauvage? No, because Salt and Pepper from Precious Liquid is not Sauvage. I love this fragrance. The performance is great. The development, it's very 2-stage. The development of this is right up my alley. The first time I sprayed, I really liked the opening. Then it got into the dry down. I was like, holy shit, I love the longevity, the life of this fragrance, the way it develops into what it settles into is just, it's for me. It's totally for me. Sweet, kelpy, seaweed, salty green, bitter, aquatic, sweet and peppered spice. You got pink pepper, black pepper, and then it settles. That incense and patchouli really comes to life later in the dry down. It warms up just a little bit. It's got this earthy green tone that kind of makes it a little dirty, just a little dirty, that patchouli. Man, I love this fragrance. This stuff is banging. Banging. Didn't get no compliments. I wore this for the draft. I know everybody could smell me. You know, I think I had 8 sprays around the neck or something like that, and then I did 2 on the forearm, like 10 sprays. Ridiculous, unnecessary. Didn't need to do that. I just did it for the hell of it. Nobody complimented me. This is the group that's also told me in the past, you better always smell good. That's a direct quote from my cousin. You better always smell good, because this is what I do, right? So, yeah, and I do. I always have to make it a point to smell really good when I'm in town with the family, because it's expected. So it was great to see friends, draft team, auction draft, had a good time, happy with the team, and I was damn sure happy with my fragrance. Went work out after, too. Later that evening, I was at the gym for 7 o'clock that night, because we started drafting at 12. It was like a 5-hour draft. I was in the gym for like 6:30, something like that. But on Saturday, Precious Liquid, salt and pepper. 'Tis fantasy football season. Thank you guys for sitting through the tangents, all the good stuff. I know the Bleu de Chanel section was long, but that has been, I guess, this year's Sauvage Eau Forte. This round's Dior Homme Parfum. Seems like Dior and Chanel, it's always controversy, right? Especially when it comes to my opinion. Because my opinion, I guess, is not of every other opinion. I don't know, because I try not to really watch the other opinions. Because look, there's very few opinions I value in this space when it comes to my peers. Very few. And the only ones that I genuinely really value are good friends of mine. Like actual friends, not pretend online. We're cool, but we can turn on each other or get our butts hurt at any given moment. Not that kind of bullshit friendship. Like actual friends where we've spent time in person together, broke bread and such, know each other's families, talk more than just fragrance. You see what I'm saying? Not the bullshit surface level shit. Actual friends. I value those opinions. Your Dedricks, your Justins, and so the list goes on. You know what I mean? So with that said, I appreciate you guys watching. There's links down below if you want to check any of these out. You don't have to buy nothing to watch these videos, though, but there's, through YouTube Shopping Network, you got options, your Joma Shops, your Fragrance Nets, and so on. A couple of things you might have to get at retail or samples and such, and then you'll have Fragrance Buy, which ships from Fragflex. Even though you click on the Fragrance Buy link, if you order from Fragrance Buy, it's just going to ship from Fragflex, which is their US-based warehouse and everything. Has been from the start. So if you click a link and it goes to Fragrance Buy, and you're like, oh, they're not shipping anymore. It's all good. The orders automatically will ship from Fragflex if you happen to click one of the Fragrance Buy links. Trust me, I can assure you. I made sure to clear that up when they were going through that process. So thank you guys for checking out the video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you leave, and I'll see you on the next one.